Guys, what's fun? What Ifs here? This is going to be the fourth episode of What If Deku was Gaster from Undertale. So, we left off with Ariel and Sparrow, the telekinesis quirk user, going up against Bakugo, Todoroki, and Ida. So, anyways, this is how it went. Ariel started the attack by using 3 of her Gaster blasters and shooting at Todoroki because she thought that he was the greatest threat to them. As soon as she did that, Bakugo stepped in and used his own explosion to blow up the surrounding area around Todoroki, meaning that rubble was now in front of the Gaster blasters. As soon as they fired, instead of getting to Todoroki, they instead blew up the surrounding debris which was around Todoroki. So, after that, Ida used his, I believe it's called a jet burn, or something like that, to basically when he uses his engines to go at full speed. He uses that and goes up against Sparrow, which uses his telekinetic powers to basically lift up the 3 trucks which he had thrown and rip them into smaller pieces. And he used that to battle against Ida. Ida was much faster than him, and so Ida was eventually able to get a good kick in his stomach. And Sparrow basically went flying. So now Ariel was fighting alone against for all 3 of the heroes in training. Now, going back to Gaster, who was currently going up against several squads of villains, police, and also some Nomus. Most of the heroes were dealing with either Nomus or Gaster's own abominations, that is, his own monsters. So, as that was going on, he used his Gaster blasters to deal with the Nomus, and he used his hands to swiftly deal with the police. And, as that was going on, somebody new entered the fray. I'm going to be using basically from Undertale, let's say, what's his name again? Oh, right, I'm going to be using a robot, somewhat like Metaton, shall we say. That's a part of All for One's little entourage. And so he begins to fight with Gaster. And well, Gaster immediately notices that robot has an artificially created soul. And once Gaster saw that, well, let's just say that his science art grew 5 times because he wanted that robot to see how exactly they were able to make an artificial soul. Because with that, Gaster could make his own army of God knows how many monsters or robots he wanted. And as they were fighting, Gaster noticed that robot was pretty much several times stronger than Endeavor, which made him a tiny bit worried, but not that much. Needless to say, the robot, which just for service, I'm going to call him Metaton, because why not? It's the easiest way. And so, his Metaton used his own attacks, being lasers, to go up against him. Gaster spawned 5 Gaster blasters on all 4 sides, so basically in front of him, back, in his back, so in front of him, behind him, and to his left and right. He spawned 5 Gaster blasters on each side. So, Metaton simply used green magic, or, well, his artificial soul was green, and so he could use, well, actually no, it wasn't, how do I say this? It was half and half. It was half a red soul, and half a green soul. So he could use laser, red attacks, and he could also use healing magic, and also the shield magic, as I said. He put up a shield around him, which saved him from the Gaster blasters, although the shield was now completely destroyed. So then, as Gaster went ahead and used his hand to try and destroy Metaton, or well, not destroy him, capture him, out of nowhere, well, an explosion happened. As he simply looked behind him, we see that Ariel has just been blown up. That is, that Ariel was That is, that Bakugo used his explosion quirk and basically exploded Ariel through several different buildings. And well, Gaster, being such a gentleman he simply got pissed off that the woman which she loves, which I'm pretty sure that all of you guys already guessed that she was gonna be his, well, love interest, that he used as many Gaster blasters as he could, which at the current time, his limit was 50, along with 4 gigantic hands, with all of them being infused with purple magic. He basically used it to fire all around him. He didn't care who or what he destroyed or killed. And well, Todoroki used as much of his ice as he could to basically make a wall around him, and with Mettaton using his own green magic to make an even stronger shield, but although using most of his green magic reserves. So with that being said, in an area of, let's say, 100 meters around Gaster, everything was completely vaporized except Bakugo, Todoroki, Ida, and Mettaton. Well, and also Ariel, since, of course, Deku wasn't gonna kill her now, was he? And well, after that, Deku's magic reserve was actually pretty, well, limited, because using that much attacks at the same time made him weaker by, well, destabilizing him. But before he could go anywhere, he gets trapped in yet another fucking barrier. Needless to say, he was getting sick of it. And well, once he realized that was on another green magic barrier. Surprise, surprise, it was a human now, and a hero with a green soul. So, simply putting it, he could use that type of magic. And now I don't really believe that I thoroughly explained how souls are gonna work in the My Hero Academia world, so I apologize for that. But basically, not all humans have them. That is, they do have them, but they don't have the magic inside of them. So, as most humans, they don't have enough magic to even be considered to use that. Most of them have quirks. There were some rare ones which had soul powers, like this hero which just came and stopped and put the Gaster in yet another barrier. But then there were also the most rarest ones, which were people who had both soul magic and quirks. So basically, due to Gaster's experimentation, both him and Ariel had both quirks and soul magic, because technically Deku had soul magic before, because since he could use the Gaster classes and all that. But after he fused his soul with Ariel's, that being 20% of her soul and 10% of his soul, basically switching places, he also got her quirk, but in a different way, being able to summon sharp bones. So that's pretty much how that works. And well, humans who have soul powers are usually considered to be stronger than people who only have quirk users, because they can use, well, magic. And the barrier hero who just arrived, he used it. And let's say that his name is Michael. And then immediately a red soul of determination appears. Now you may be asking who that is. Well, guess what? It's Frisk. Yep, I'm putting her also into this. And well, she began by using her... Now, not exactly sure what she can make, since it really depends, but I'm gonna say that she can use her soul determination to make weapons. In this case, a sword which can fire, well, let's say red energy blades. At Gaster, while he's in that, well, how do you say it again? Prison, shall we say. Needless to say, Gaster gets sick of it real quick. But before the Frisk's attack can basically hurt Gaster, one of Gaster's own monsters simply appears. The most powerful one he created, which was basically a 50-foot tall monstrosity, capable of destroying city blocks in, well, one and only one of his attacks. So, yeah, it was rather powerful. So, Frisk and most of the other heroes were now dealing with that monstrosity, which, in terms of all that confusion, it used one of its quirks, that being super strength, and I mean like really super strength, almost at the point of being stronger than All Might's 100% punch. Used it and basically broke the shield, making the green soul energy user, that is magic user, extremely weak, because he used a lot of his own magic to create that barrier, since he could even hold Gaster. And well, after that, Gaster simply fall to the ground because he was extremely weak at that point, because he used his own teleportation magic to teleport that monster, or amalgamate, shall we say, to help him up there. Needless to say, Ariel then helps him up and uses her own teleportation magic to teleport them back to their base, along with most of the other squads which weren't either killed or captured by the police. So, in terms of hindsight, it was extremely effective. Even though, because they didn't really receive any major losses except losing the most powerful creature Gaster had ever made. And even that creature was able to obliterate about several more city blocks before Frisk could put an end to it by using her most powerful, let's say, her most powerful attack, being basically a gigantic blade, which completely cut the monstrosity in half. And because of just how large it was, the super regeneration didn't really matter to it that much. So, anyways, as Gaster is back at his laboratory, he is sort of pouting because, well, he wasn't able to get Metathon, something which he really wanted to get. But before he could do anything else, he immediately turned to Ariel and asked her if she was alright. Well, and Ariel simply smiles and says, "So you were worried about me? And at that point, Deku simply says, yes, I was. You happy now?" With Ariel smiling and then kissing Gaster on the cheek, saying, "Yes, I am happy now." And well, that was a bit of a lovey-dovey thing which I put, because, well, even villains need love, do they not? And well, after that, more and more people started joining Gasters and Ariels. At this point, it wasn't a gang nor a mafia. Let's say their syndicate. Yes, that sounds good. And well, as that was going on, now Japan and really basically most of the world knew that there was an extremely new powerful villain located in Japan, which attacked an entire city. It was able to, and in that one attack was able to kill dozens of heroes, dozens of villains, hundreds of police, and also several high-grade Nomus. And needless to say, all for one was, how do I put this? He was absolutely livid. Not only did the people start to believe that Gaster was a more successful villain than him, which, oh, right, because of his ghostly appearance and because of his, well, specific weapon choice, people gave the villain name to Deku Gaster. So finally he has it. The name of Gaster. Now I can start calling him that instead of Deku, so yay. And well, Gaster simply likes the name that they gave him. Oddly enough, he did come from heroes which he absolutely despised. But, oh well. After that was over, Bakugo, Ida and Todoroki simply met up with Frisk. Which, I probably forgot to mention this as well. Sorry guys, I don't have a script exactly for this, since I'm a new channel and I still don't know and I still don't have the hang of it, how to make proper YouTube videos and all that. And well, Frisk was actually a part of the 1A, class 1A. And thus, well, basically Frisk and Bakugo are getting off. That means that they're basically boyfriend and girlfriend. For now at least. Who knows? Frisk doesn't exactly like Bakugo's personality because of him being so cocky all the time. Especially because, as she says it, she was the one who saved his ass at, well, when the gigantic monster attacked, which was Gaster's strongest amalgamate. And so, after that little attack, UA began preparations and the Japanese government simply said enough was enough and called in the military. So, yeah, Japan had way more heroes now, and they also had a lot more soldiers and police patrolling the areas. But that still didn't stop the, how is it called again? Villain Vanguard Squad, I believe, right? Something like that, or at least, yes, I think it was that name. And they still attack the 1A and 1B students while they're at the training camp. But right, because Frisk is also there, she begins training her quirk by... They put her into a VR module, shall we say. And also, she's both a quirk and a magic user. She can use determination magic, and funnily enough, her quirk directly helps her magic. Her quirk being determination. The more determined she is, the more stronger she gets. And her power rating is displayed with levels. That's what most humans who have both quirks and magic at most use as leveling. So basically level of violence from 1 to 25. Yes, not that I'm a bit over speculating this, but I think that that's a pretty good assumption. And so, currently when Frisk used all of her power, which was she determined to defeat that monster, she got all the way up to level 17. Not even level 19, which is considered to be about, if she gets more determination to like level 20, she becomes as strong as All Might, basically. All Might in his prime. So I'm pretty sure all of you guys know where I'm going with this. The final battle, when it will happen, it's going to be basically Gaster and Ariel versus the heroes, including Frisk and maybe even some other monsters which I will be including. It might be some of them from Undertale, and it might be some new souls. Who knows, I might even add the Dreamer twins. That is the Dreamer kids, being both Kara and Asriel. So, I guess that you guys should wait for when I clear my mind up about those things and actually make a goddamn script for this. So, but don't worry, the video still isn't over. I got a bit sidetracked by telling you my plans for the series. But anyways, we move to All For One, who is currently destroying everything in his office because he is livid. Not only are there now more heroes and more police everywhere, but also a bit of a problem arose. Because Shigaraki did take the Vanguard squad to go and attack the training camp. This is at the exact same time that the Vanguard squad actually arrived at the training camp. And well, he sort of starts devising up plans on how to take down Gaster. Oh right, I also failed to say this. Currently the criminal underworld of Japan was getting smaller and smaller by the day due to hero attacks basically going rampant and all that other good jazz. So then, let's see, what else should I say? Oh, right, I almost forgot. At this, Gaster controls 37% of the criminal underworld currently, having bases all over Japan and also being able to make devices which helped all of his mercenaries basically get teleporters. Although they were two-way teleporters, but the two-way option would only be used once every 2 hours. So it takes simply, so if they went to Tokyo and then back to their main base, that would basically lock them out from using that option for 2 more hours. Or if they went from their main base to Tokyo, then to another different city, that would also make them have to wait for 2 more hours. And well, let's just say that Gaster and Ariel did have a pretty sizable army on Japanese soil. Being about, let's say, 5,000 or so, basically, mercenaries. Them having either weak quirks which they can use or having no quirks. Gaster didn't really discriminate. And Gaster also had several people which could use magic. He had several green magic users, and even one rather special hate magic user, which if all you have guessed it, that's Kara. Yep, I put Kara into this as well. In this video we're going to be meeting both Frisk and Kara, which, funnily enough, both of them are actually twin sisters, with Frisk's quirk being the more determined she is, she gets more power, while Kara's quirk being the more hate she feels, she becomes stronger. Also the same principle, to level 25 and all that jazz. And well, so she's basically the leader of the Tokyo Squadron, because Gaster and Ariel moved their main base to a bit of a more secluded place at the north of Japan. I'm not exactly sure what the island is called, but it's all the way up there. And it's basically completely controlled by both Gaster and Ariel. But I get fucking sidetracked. I gotta do the villain Vanguard squad attacking the trading camp, along with some abominations from Gaster, since, you know, why the hell not? And also because Gaster was still a bit mad about Bakugo shooting his, shall I say, future wife through several buildings. And well, now let's go back then. So, as the villain Vanguard squad attacks, all the students are in a panic. Frisk, along with Bakugo, Todoroki, Uraraka, and also Kirishima, go ahead and try to see what's going on. Bakugo goes ahead and saves that little kid from Muscular. So I think his name is... Crap, I forgot. I really need to get a script. But anyways, he goes ahead and saves that little kid, but not having the fight with Muscular. He used his explosion, but instead of knocking out Muscular, he sort of just blew up his left arm. Even though he wasn't really supposed to do that, it was in a life or death situation, so he gets away with it. Now, for the other stuff, Todoroki goes up against... At this point, he's going to be going up against Dabi. Although he's not going to be alone, he's also going to have Frisk with him. And as Frisk and Todoroki are fighting up against Dabi, a portal suddenly appears. Dabi thinks that that's Kurogiri, putting in more reinforcements, but instead, out of there comes an unmasked human, which none of them know. But immediately as she enters, she uses a very similar power to Frisk. And if you guys didn't notice, yes, this is Kara. She joined in the fight along with 4 other amalgamates. Them being a lot more human looking and basically being, if you put, let's see, sort of if you put in a human and then fuse it with a lizard. Or, well, more accurately being called and fuse them with a dragon. They're basically dragonoids, which one of them can spew out fire, one of them can use ice, the third can use, what's it called, green magic, so basically healing and shields, and the fourth one being the most powerful, except, well, of course, Kara is the most powerful out of the 5 of them, but he's the second most powerful and being the leader of the 3 amalgamates, which they are a bit more specialized because all they can actually think for themselves. But their loyalty still solely lies with Ariel and Gaster. His quirk, first of all, is this. He can use telekinetic attacks, although a bit weaker than Sparrow's telekinetic attacks. And he also has... let's see, what exactly is it? I forgot what the purple soul is used for. But I'm just gonna say that he can use the extremely powerful purple magic, and that he also has the determination, the soul determination, that is half of half. That being his soul is only 50%, because if he was to give him a 100% soul with 2 different types of magic and a quirk, he would not be able to control it, sadly. And well, as the fight now rages onwards, Frisk is fighting against Kara, while Davi and Todoroki sort of tag team to go up against the four amalgamates. But that's when, let's see, what's his name again? Twice and Mr. Compress come ahead and help Davi. Although as soon as Mr. Compress tries to go ahead and take one of the amalgamates, as soon as he does do that, he used his quirk and he actually got one of them. But instead of them basically turning into one of those small orbs, they instead, as they're turning into it, completely explode. Basically exploding several fingers off of Mr. Compress's hand, with him screaming a lot. The other three amalgamates are a bit pissed off because they just lost one of their comrades. And they enter a fit of rage, except their leader, the second most powerful one, which still calmly uses his purple magic, along with determination magic. Which basically, determination magic increases all other types of magic. And it's the only type of magic which neither Ariel nor Gaster can physically obtain. You can get every single other soul except the determination. Gaster isn't sure why, and well, he's been doing some experiments. But as soon as he did put a tiny bit of a percentage of determination into his own soul, he started, well, melting. And after that, he did not use it again, because even using healing magic, he could not exactly revert the process which had happened, making him even look even more deformed. But when Ariel simply went in there to check on him, she was like, "Oh, you look ugly like hell." And then kissed him on the cheek, because of course Ariel is a sweetheart to Gaster, although being a complete and utter fucking, well, let's say that Ariel is even worse than Kara when it comes to basically being a sadist and also genocider. She has no regard for human life. And with that being said, we move back to the battlefield. Bakugo is able to defeat him, and then he goes ahead and joins Todoroki and Frisk, which are currently fighting up against the four amalgamates, and also Kara. Frisk and Kara being evenly matched, until Kara simply uses her hate and overpowers Frisk, with Frisk's current determination level being 11, while Kara's hate level being 17. So, Kara, of course, got the upper hand. Until somebody else joined the fray, that being a specialized soldier of the Japanese army. And guess who it is? It's Undyne. She simply goes there and starts using both her own quirk and her soul magic. Her quirk is that she can summon an extremely hard armor set, basically the same one which we see in the game, except a bit different. Because it more looks futuristic, shall we say, and like more human-like. Although, of course, she still has her appearance. Not being of a, well, fish? Yes, she's a fish, I think. She has gills, so she's a fish. And, well, she also, what's it called? Although, let's say, instead of, well, actually, no, that's pretty much it. And she begins to fight against both the amalgamates and villains. And I'm going to be power scaling Undyne quite a bit, so let's say that her level the entire time is level 21. Yes, she is currently the most powerful character except All Might, which I have. Actually, no, she's even more powerful than All Might, because All Might at his prime is about level 20. Although with that being said, All Might has the soul of perseverance and also the soul of the determination. So when he goes ahead and fights against All for One, which also has a soul of hate, just like Kara, it's going to be extremely fun to see who wins, is it not? But anyways, with the new reinforcements basically showing up, and also Undyne basically handling the other two amalgamates, with only the leader being left, which is currently about level 15, basically Kara tells him to leave, because they are outnumbered and they are also, well, don't have enough power to deal with this, with Undyne being level 21 and being able to completely demolish Kara. But Kara does get some hate for Undyne because, well, Undyne's stronger than her, and she wants to be at the top. But of course, being lower than both Ariel and Gaster, because she sort of sees Ariel as her mother figure, because Ariel saved her after she got attacked by bandits. About, let's say, well, she was only still 11 years old, and Ariel just came out of the portal. This is an aside story, shall we say. So she basically breaks into one of the gang houses and sees that Kara was being used as a slave. Well, that doesn't sit exactly well with her, and she kills every single person there. Except the abuser, which was the worst towards Kara. She lets Kara deal with him. And oh boy, does Kara take her sweet, sweet time. And so, after that little side story, so I'll let you guys know how exactly Kara and Ariel met, and how Ariel and Gaster became basically parent figures to Kara, because her own parents abandoned her. They didn't abandon Frisk, so, well, yeah. Kara is a bit hateful of Frisk as well, although Frisk always treated her nicely, so she doesn't hate her that much. Although she despises their parents. And so, let's see, what else? As they basically leave, and the last amalgamate, along with Kara, get back to the portal using the two-way teleporters, and basically come back to Gaster and Ariel, who are currently sitting and watching a movie together. Basically having a date and enjoying their time. And as Kara simply came, they saw that she was wounded, and basically both Gaster and Ariel immediately entered the, let's see, how's it called? Overprotective parent syndrome, which is basically like, oh no, my daughter, she's hurt, I will do anything to save her. While Gaster is like, I'm going to kill every single person who did this to you. And well, they basically healed her up and she was alright. The fourth amalgamate, the captain of the three other ones, was kind of bummed out, but because of how well he did, Gaster rewarded him by making him a bit more stable looking, and also giving him a new set of armor. So basically, even though his level was only 15, his endurance and his defense was basically went up, making him go to about level 17 and on the brink of being to level 18. So his power level was rather good. Although with that being said, both, that is, Gaster's power level is level 25 and Ariel's power level is level 24. Almost being to level 25. Just so you guys get a rough idea of how powerful they are. And also the fact that neither of them have actually achieved their full potential, because Gaster still can't summon his gigantic Gaster Blaster, and he can only summon 4 of his giant hands instead of 7. Yes. And he was also missing, well actually no, he now has all of his hands, that is the small ones, with the shard of souls inside of them. And well, anyways, the Villain Vanguard squad sadly loses 2 of their members, that being that Toga now gets captured by, well, since Undyne came and she basically captured her as soon as she went by just tossing in a magical spear, which impaled Toga in her left shoulder. And after that she went to fight with the other villains. So Toga and Muscular were gone from the Villain Vanguard squad. And anyways, I believe that this is a good way to end the episode. So anyways guys, I hope that you enjoyed, and well, have a good life and a nice day. See ya!